Good afternoon. I am Gary Jackson, Business Analytics Director for Asia Pacific. Very proud to be back in Europe. Thank you so much for actually spending time with me and not going to lunch right away. So I'm hoping what I do today is actually give you a lot of ideas on how to actually use predictive analytics in an amazing way. And also to get rid of a lot of inconsistencies and sometimes untruths about big data. And I do represent CSC, it's very important that you know that, but I want to make sure some of the ideas that I present today are your ideas. These are ideas that you can implement with some of the greatest people that are in your offices, the IT people, the marketing teams. These are ideas that you can do yourselves. So that's kind of where I wanted to start off with. I've been doing business analytics for about 15 years. I originally, because of the accent, sadly I'm American. I normally try to tell people I'm Canadian because Canadians are nicer than Americans. But I've lived in Europe for 4 years. Then after that, South Africa for 3 years. And then I've been in Hong Kong for 6. And then coming back. So I've been doing business analytics for a long, long time. And let me tell you something. This is very, very important. We've been able to predict the future for the last 10 years, and we've not done a damn thing about it. We've wasted so much time and effort and millions of dollars building warehouses and building static reports that doesn't change anything. And what I'm trying to show today is the last decade was focused on cardinality. The next decade is focused on humanity. We've got to go back to the way our grandparents did things. They knew people. They knew what their customers liked. And that's what I'm trying to bring the technology circle around to be able to embrace humanizing the technology. So my presentation, I hate PowerPoints, but I'm using them for this presentation. But for everyone that has an iPad or an Android tablet, such as myself, everything's available on this website. It's interactive. Actually, you can ask questions. It's collaborative. So if you want to ask any questions afterwards or talk to me through that, through real time, let me know. But what we're going to be presenting today is basically, I'm going to show you how HANA can completely change the way things are done. And I'm not being biased towards HANA, it's just the way it works. So I'm going to be presenting how to use HANA with R to basically predict what we call life stage and lifestyle. Very, very important. And also I want to bring something up. Do you notice here, these are the topics I'm going to be bringing up. Social volunteering, unified profile, people like you. But the most important thing I want you to notice here is preventive or adaptive analytics. If you predict the future, you can't do anything with it. You predict, there's no power. Imagine Spider-Man having Spidey sense, but not having any superpowers to change. So what we have to be able to do is preventive or adaptive analytics. You need to be able to change the future as it's happening. I'll give you a case in point. I have a very, very close friend. She's a single mother of 2, works at a university in New York City. She volunteered for a university program to have her genes mapped to see if she had any possible diseases, cancer, those kind of things. Completely healthy. Just did it for voluntary because the university asked her. Mother of 2. They found after they mapped it that she had an 80% chance of having ovarian cancer and breast cancer. But she was fine at that time. And she had to make a decision. The decision is, does she act like she never heard it? Or does she prevent or adapt around it? And there's not an and there. It's very, very important you understand there's a prevent or adapt. We're about to get into a situation that there's a psychology of analytics. And you're going to have to pick and choose the customers that you want to implement this for. Because not all customers are mature enough to really want to see the future and change it. And that is what we call the psychology of analytics. Do they really want to see the future and change around it? Now, just to let you know, that's why I wear this wristband. She actually chose to have chemotherapy. She had a mastectomy and a hysterectomy before she had anything. 6 months into her chemo, she was also diagnosed with bone cancer. But because she was already in the therapy, she's still alive. And she's fighting for 3 years. And that's where we are. That is being able to map it and tell people the future, but being able to change it as it's happening. What's also very, very important as we go through this is there's a big data concept I want you to understand. And just to, as we're looking at trying to predict life stage and lifestyle, Stop scraping your customers' information without their permission. Everyone talks about privacy issues. You know what? People want to tell you about themselves if they have value back. It's like a relationship. If you volunteer something in a conversation, I'm going to volunteer something back. You volunteer another big tidbit, I'm going to give you another big tidbit back, especially when you're having drinks or beers. That's how you build intimacy. Big data is the exact same. The goal for us is to show your customers exactly what you think of them. Being honest, what demographic they are. Show them their BI. Don't hide it. That's the only thing, that's something that's so powerful with HANA. Now you have individualized BI. They can see how much they spent, what they actually are doing, and forecast on their life. And that's amazing ability. The other thing that what we do is, we believe that we don't want you to stalk your customers. I believe there's a lot of big data conversations that go around. Suck up all the tweets, suck up all the Facebook statuses. That doesn't change behavior. Look at all of you. Look down at your clothes. Look at the shoes that you're wearing. The reason you're wearing this is not because you saw a banner ad or you saw a commercial. It's your friends, it's your family, the people you aspire to be. That's what actually changes your behavior. So how can you use big data to actually execute on behavior and get them to buy things or be able to look at your products based on the people that are buying their products that are in their social circles? Now, the technology, how do we do this? Very basic. Sounds like magic, but it's not. What we do is we predict life stage and lifestyle. We try to predict before it happens when someone's going to get married, have children, job change, job loss, expatriate, inbound, outbound, home purchase, divorce, sabbatical, retirement, which is the ultimate from a financial planning perspective, or insurance. So now, it's important to know these life stages, but there's also the adjective to the noun, the lifestyle. Is it their second marriage? Is it a child with disabilities? Is it an entrepreneur because they changed jobs? Knowing these things is so important. And don't keep it or hoard it from your customer. Let them know what you know about them. And here's the beauty of what we can do with HANA. Let them say yes or no back to you. This is collaborative analytics. It is a two-way street. You don't have to hire a bunch of data miners behind the scenes to make hypotheses. Allow your customers to tell you yes, no, or maybe. Now, this is actually a prototype that we built for a customer in Australia. So these are actual screenshots of a proof of concept. As you know, in Australia, they believe, in about 2 years, there's going to be a big economic dip. So they're preparing for that dip. And they're trying to focus on cross-sell, upsell, retention. Because the market is so saturated, the only way they can make money is being able to make sure that they keep those customers they already have. And the only way they think to do this is psychology of analytics. Being able to let them know where they're going to be fitting in and how it fits. Now, these are the things that we actually scrape to allow for prevention or adaption. But here's the triggers. Is it a cash out? Is it a non-payment? I'm going to skip pause for a second because I want to bring that up a little bit later. That's actually my suggestion. And then increase. Increase means you got a salary, a new job, making more money, that kind of thing. One of the things that we're finding right now is a lot of your customers, especially in the financial services, and I learned this because originally I'm American, before 2008, Americans on paper looked awesome. We had good credit scores, we were doing very well, everything was fine. After 2008, there was a 1% and a 99%. There's a lot of crap customers now. And they're just not blacklisted, but they're just not the customers you want. And so you're focusing on those people that have actually, they made it through the 2008, but what about those who want to get back? What about those who want to get back before 2008? Why not give them a plan or a map on how to get back to being a good customer? They might not be perfect now, but you can give them ideas on how to get back, and they will be loyal for life. And that is what the power that we can do with the analytics. And that's where the pause comes in. What if you could offer financial products, especially around insurance, and the customer knows they're about to hit a bad financial time, and they pay for this in the beginning, that they can pause their policy, no benefits, but they can pause it and then come back to it when they start making money. They can't get benefits out of it, but it doesn't show them as bad, and it doesn't show them as good. They're just on pause. So allowing people to also prevent or adapt around situations that are about to come up. This is the power that we have right now with the technology that we have. And these are the things that we're working on. And it sounds like magic, but it's actually super easy. Now, this is going to be the only architecture slide because I don't want to turn this into a technology discussion. But it's very, very important to note two things. Your warehouse goes to the back. How many people have taken a vacation in a closet? Has anyone gone to a closet and had an awesome vacation? No. What you do is you actually go on a holiday, you take tons of pictures, then after the adventure's over, you take those pictures and you put them in a closet. Why are we shoving warehouses right to the front, making sure that everything's structured and organized, then afterwards, and as we clean and delete maybe possible information that can tell you about their insights, then we start the reporting. And one of the things I get for a lot from CIOs and CTOs is, I'm losing street credibility. I've spent so much money on this warehouse, I'm not making any money from it. Business is ignoring me. I need to get back into their good graces again and generate revenue for them so they see that I'm doing something. And so what we're actually suggesting is shove your warehouse in the back, put an analytics appliance in the front, and pour it all in. Don't hold back. Don't waste all this consulting money on cleaning, cleansing. Visualize immediately. We have a term we call business storytelling. The goal for that is to tell stories with your business, your raw business data, everything. And then when you find the insights, then poop those insights out into your warehouse. So it's a totally different model. And it helps the CIO, CTO get credibility. And the goal for us from a CSC perspective, no implementation should last longer than 180 days. 180 days. If you can't make money in 180 days, don't do the project. We got technology that actually can implement in 45 to 90 days. Don't waste your time. It's very, very important. So this is just one of those suggestions that we're bringing up from an architecture perspective. So let's get into the business side real quick. Now, I hate this slide. I don't agree with it. I think it's complete crap, but this is what the customer asked for. This is actually a financial planning company in Australia. They wanted to allow the customer, when they log in, to also log in through Connect with Facebook. Personally, if I logged into my bank, whatever bank that is, and it said Connect with Facebook, I'm going to go to another bank. That would freak me out, right? Because I don't want that. That's too in my face. And I don't see any value here. And it also seems like you're a stalker. And I make a comment quite frequently, what is the difference between a stalker and a friend? A stalker knows your birthday. And that is where we're trying to get to. We get to this place where we don't want to seem creepy to our customers. So I did this, I implemented this, but I use it as a caution. But here's where I do believe it fits in. And this is a very basic prototype. And I think all of you, even if you're not in the financial services sector, you can actually use this for what you're doing as well. We have something called People Like You. We believe that if you listen to a tweet, or you see a Facebook status, it is not going to make them change their mind. They might back down, not be angry anymore. They might be a little happy, but they're not going to purchase. Why people purchase is they want to keep up with the Joneses. They want to keep up with those people that are like them. And they want to know where they fit. So we have a very basic People Like You. People Like You analytics, what it does is allows them to connect with Facebook, compare the products that they have invested in, and show them what other people anonymously, minimum and maximum, have made. And that's it. Just getting them started to say, wow, I've done really good, or wow, I've done really bad, but allows them to see where they fit. And here's what we do. We actually connect with Facebook, or what I believe is the most important, LinkedIn. The two most valuable social media pieces, from a big data perspective, is your Facebook About page and your LinkedIn profile. All the other is noise. Those things are exactly really who you are, if you fill it out. Now, also, I want to make sure, I normally don't bring this up so early, but I want to make sure this is not for everyone. There's a lot of human-to-human interaction that still has to take place. How do you determine if this is who's going to do this and who's not going to do this? How many of you text or SMS your girlfriend or wife? And how many of you call them? So the people that call usually prefer human-to-human interaction. This is just the psychology of analytics. And the people that text do more things online. Now, when I was in New York, I saw this commercial that says, do you text people to ask if you can call them? That would be a hybrid. But, so what we do here is, we actually take this Facebook about page, and we delete most of it. Right now, I'm talking. And I'm amazed as most of you are translating the words that I'm saying. And you're trying to understand it in your own language. And after I speak, once you translated it, most of the and, the but, all of the words that I'm using, the commas, you're going to delete those, but you're going to remember the context of my conversation. And you're going to take that context and project it. I like that presentation, or I didn't like that presentation. The same is true with big data. Stop hoarding big data. Take it in, abstract it, make context, project it forward, delete the rest. Don't hoard 40 cats, 28 dogs in your house and hope that you have a good little household. That's not going to help you. The goal is contextualize exactly what you're doing right now in these chairs and project that forward. So how do we do this with this? So look at this. This is a lot of information. Translate it into numbers. Have you ever been to a website and the page didn't exist? You get an error. Does anybody know what that error is? It's a 404. Yeah, 404 error. We're doing the same thing here. If you're married, it's a 22. If you have 3 kids, plus 3. How many jobs have you had in the last 7 years? 4. What was the average time spent on those jobs? 1.5. Take all these numbers, add them together, and place them in quadrants. And then that is your life stage, lifestyle number. And be able to associate people with this range of numbers, what products they purchase. Then delete the rest. And it's also very important, you know where I got this idea? I got this idea from my mother. My mother told me that if you date someone, you should date them over 4 seasons, or you don't really know who they are. Which I didn't listen to her, and so I'm divorced, but that's a totally different story. But so what we're trying to do here is this information should definitely be every quarter or every time they log in, this number should be crunched and deleted. And it makes for easy opt-out. What we're doing here should always be at a place where the customer can say, I don't want to do this anymore. Because if you violate that trust, you've lost them forever. So we just change this to numbers, and you're going to see why the numbers are important when we start talking about the telematics stuff. Because we need to be able to add more numbers to the social number. So this, what we do is we just basically parse this, and it doesn't have to be that number. You can have your own numbering scheme, right? Then what we do after that, actually what we try to do, we allow the customer to create a unified profile. You're spending so much money on consultants to do this. You know your customers would do it for you? Allow the customer to link what products to their social profile and run this analytics. They will create a unified profile for you. And it saves you a lot of money, and it's more interactive. Now here's what happens with this. So basically what you have is, it runs through, creates a minimum and maximum range of the products that they purchased and showing them where they fit. Basic, really simple, but instantaneous. And actually, this is not sample size. With HANA, we're doing the whole thing. Every existing customer that you have, on the fly. And that's a very powerful thing, but this still doesn't make you money. Doesn't make you money, gets people excited, makes them wonder. The next thing that we do is we have something called Map of Me. We want to show the customer what they're going to be doing in the next 2 to 5 to 7 years and have them tell us if we're correct or not. That's what the Map of Me, letting them know where you feel that they fit in and they belong. How this works, we actually do prediction. Based on your life stage and lifestyle, we predict this is the next thing that's going to happen to you in the next 2 years. Children, 77.2%, and the product recommendations under that. Or job change, expatriate, sabbatical. Based on all of your customers that are currently existing right now, this is what we believe is going to do, and which we've never been able to do before, they can tell us if we're correct. Now, this customer did something a little tricky. They wanted to trip me up. Michael Carpenter, his life stage is dual income, no children, loft owner, jogger. So the prediction here, because of our analytics, was children. Michael Carpenter's gay. And in Australia, you can't adopt. So this allows you to prevent or adapt around that. He can basically say, because of legislation, I can't adopt, so no, but job change, maybe. So you stamp that analytical model, and you're creating individualized analytical modules. It's a model just for that person or this range of people, a write back. And that's just a very powerful thing because it actually allows you to build your analytical models very, very quickly and individualize them. And there's one more thing I wanted to bring up here, which is the map of me. If you see this, you actually can export the map of me feature there. So you actually, the goal is to be able to give it away, give it to them, and so that actually they can take it with them. One last thing to bring up, which is very, very powerful, I believe. You notice we have a banner ad here for Telematics. We're actually encouraging insurance companies, banks, to give away these telematics devices so they can create social communities, especially around marathons, so the more that they work out, the more weight that they lose, this information is being added to their social number. So then we can actually associate, okay, these people are being more healthy, these people are living in this vicinity, and we've actually been doing partnerships with Nike Plus and also Job on Up. But I recommend go to your local countries. You have telematics people that are in your countries and create partnerships from that. And we're doing with Job on Up as well. Now, the money for this is being able to show where they're going and creating cross-branding campaigns with fitness centers, health food stores. So when I wear my Nano and they walk in, I show them, they give me a discount. So they're pushing your brand and be able to feed that back into your information. But that's still not the money. And here's my last slide. The true money for this is, once I do this map of me, it writes to my Facebook wall. Now my friends and my family see that I've done this map of me. They can't see my map. But when they click on it, they go to the website and it works for them the same way. So now they can actually go through and do a map of me, and so now they see their plan. I recommend this to a lot of our customers. Don't do commercial and TV ads for this. Do social advertising. Let it socially spread. And here's another thing I'll tell you. Don't put this outside your companies. You know who your best customers are? Your employees. Try this internally for your internal employees. If you can convert internal employees, you can convert anyone. If you can't, shut it down. In 180 days, if you can't convert internal employees to be your own customer, shut it down. And that's basically how we're doing socialytics and predictive analytics. Eventually what we're going to be getting into is, of course, social commerce, social business, and this all ties in together. But that's everything that I have. If there's any questions, feel free to ask, and I really appreciate your time today.